So we finished up the CRUD on our author resource. Now let's add code to create and delete a reminder. So right here, create a reminder route, step 1. So we already have the code inside of our form to create a new reminder, and we can test it out. If I click on Tom, let's add a new reminder for Tom. Add a new reminder, and we hit submit. So the form's wired up correctly and is trying to hit this route server side. So we just need to add this route to complete this process. If we go to our show.hbs for author, right here, here's the form that we're using to create a new reminder for a given author. So that already exists. I'm going to grab the route, create a new reminder for an author route code from the README. I'll paste it right here. And so for this one, we're sending a post request to the ID of the specific author that we're trying to add a reminder to, and then /reminders. So that's going to be our path or a route. Inside this route, the first thing we need to do is actually get Mongoose to find the author document that we want to add a new reminder to. So that's why we're doing an author.findById. And the callback for Mongoose, I'm going to pass in that author. And on this next line, it's pretty cool. So remember, if we look at our schema, that the author schema has a reminders key, reminders field, and all that is just a simple array that we're going to push reminders into. So we have all of the JavaScript array methods available to us on this reminders field, which is pretty handy. So on this particular author, the .reminders field, so I can use dot notation here, I'm going to push a new instance of a reminder onto this specific author's array. Inside this push, I'm going to use the reminder model, kind of like a constructor function, to create my new reminder. And the body of the reminder is going to be the new reminder field from my form. And the form is right here on my author show page. We can see right here the input field is type of text, and I'm naming this field new reminder. And then again here in the actual route, the body field for my reminder is going to be the request.body, the new reminder property, and that's coming directly from my form. So just a quick note: I could have named this anything I wanted, but just remember that this name needs to be the same name that you name the input field on the form that you're trying to submit. Otherwise, it's not going to be able to find it. So these two need to be the same value. They need to match up so that our request.body is working correctly. Cool, so after I push a new reminder onto the author reminders array, I'm going to go ahead and save that author, and then I'm going to do a redirect here, and I'm going to go to the author's show page. And this is really, really key. So I'm actually using template strings right here, which is ECMAScript 6 feature. So this is not just a quote or a tick. This is a back tick, so make sure that you take note of that. It's pretty tiny. It's easy to kind of overlook that, but I'm actually using template strings to pass in the author.id. So make sure that you're using the back ticks here rather than the single tick. Otherwise, it's going to break. So let's rerun our application. Let's make sure this is working correctly. And there we go. So we're able to add a new reminder. I'll add one more just to confirm. Test reminder 2, then we submit it. Cool. So we're able to add a new reminder to Tom's reminders array, and then we're also redirecting to the show page so that we can see the new reminders persist. Okay, so to finish this up, what if we want to delete a reminder? So let's knock that out. So step 1 in delete a reminder, again, the form's already set up and such for us, but we need to add the route, because right now if I click done, so this done button is kind of our delete feature. So when I click done to get it out of the reminders array for that author, I get this error message. So again, we already put this code into our form. If you check out the author's show.hbs, so here is the code that's going to, no, that's not it. Where is it? Yes, right up here, excuse me. So right up here, this is the code that's going to actually remove the reminder from that author array. We just need to add the actual route to make that process happen. So step 2, right here, here is the code for that route. I'm going to grab that. I'll put it down here in my author's controller. So for this one, we're doing a HTTP delete. Here's the route that we're hitting. So we're hitting the specific author ID / reminders, and then the specific ID of the reminder that we want to remove. So we talked about this in class. The reason that this route that I'm calling this author ID is because if we just had ID here, then our params that get sent back to the server, we're going to have like 2 ID fields. And we're not going to know which ID belongs to the author, which ID belongs to the reminder. So I'm going to name this just slightly different so that I can keep them separated in my params, request.params. So in here, the Mongoose query, I'm going to use find by ID and update. So I'm going to find the author that I want to update a particular value on the document. In this case, we're going to update the reminders field or key value on that author. So once I find the author, I'm going to use this $pull method, which is really handy. So this is actually a Mongo method. And you can see here in the lesson, the $pull operator removes from an existing array all instances of a value or values that match a specified condition. So this is similar to like a JavaScript array method of maybe like slice or splice or something. It's just a little bit more of a concise way to do it. So I'm using $pull, and then I'm going to pass in the information that I want to pull from this author document. So I want Mongoose, to look in the reminders array for this author and pull the instance of a reminder that has the ID of the specific ID that I'm passing into the params right here. So that'll be in our path. So once it successfully does that, I'll have kind of my callback function here, passing an error, and I'm going to do a redirect to the author's show page again, like we did in the previous step. And just take note, so these again are template strings, so be sure that you're using backticks here and not single ticks or quotes. So these have to be backticks, otherwise this $open and closing curly is not going to be parsed correctly. Okay, so let's save that and let's just make sure this is working. So if I refresh, there we go. So that, I think it was test reminder 2, we just deleted it. I'm going to delete this one just to confirm. So if I click done, and that's removed from the reminders array, and then we're redirected to our show page, which is pretty nice.